Welcome to this week's edition of Derby Business TV News, an election special. We were at the Derby Quad to really get a feel for the different perspectives of the parties ahead of the general election on May the 7th. The FSB had their hustings, which saw candidates from the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, Liberals, Greens and UKIP really sharing their thoughts and their priorities ahead of the election and sharing and fielding questions from the team. So over to the quad now when we're hearing the debate.
One of the things I feel incredibly passionately about as a small business is late payment, and I really think it's absolutely appalling that some businesses can go out if they don't get payment on time. It's these big corporations that often stifle small businesses. And I'm pleased that that's actually, and Chris, you'll know this as well, is going through the Parliament now, the Small Business Act going through. So things like that are just really, Bill, really important.
And we need to look no further, I think, than what the Labour-led local authority has been doing since Labour came back to power in the city a couple or so years ago, created the Derby Enterprise Growth Fund, which has helped small businesses to expand and grow. They've reviewed procurement procedures to enable local small businesses to access public sector contracts more easily, and established the City Living Fund, which is available to small businesses to convert unused premises in the city, and that's already beginning to get applications. There's one in for Willow Road, another one for St Helens Street.
Small businesses, especially when given access to development finance and price desensitised entry to public sector markets, can be the engines of a great economic recovery. SMEs tend to be labour intensive. They respond quickly to local demand. They spend locally and spread their profits around. Their proprietors don't pay themselves grotesquely and instead have labour-intensive businesses that employ local workers whom they work hard to retain.
One of the things the Lib Dems have been talking about is how you can have packages of knowledge about how to set up. So if you want to know how to set up your business and you want to employ somebody and you need to have a bit more experience about your personnel side of things, right, well, let's have a personnel package. Let's have a package about how to deal with the environmental elements, because people are wanting an environmental policy because you're working into somebody else who wants you to have that policy to access that information.
I have read your manifesto and wholeheartedly agree with it, and will press it if elected. A small party can exert enormous pressure when the two larger parties are complacent or in a struggle with one another as to whether they support the business community, large or small, or employees. They have to comply to the letter with directives and regulations from Brussels, which they then gold plate. They are for our continued governance by the EU, and this will not help small businesses. Regulation is not diminishing.
A few years ago it used to be just putting a few barriers out and, well, blow the whistle and there we go, the runners went. It's a lot more nowadays, especially with Sunday being so busy.